Want to bet?
Yep.
Then get into the action at Sports Interaction. Whatever your sport, Sports Interaction has you covered. Bet pregame, in-game, or on one of the many unique prop bets. Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Thank you. Or in Ontario, download the app now using our QR code at the bottom of the screen. 19 plus, please play responsibly. I wanted to play this because this is Craig Berube on the St. Louis Blues. Craig Berube, by the way, Doug Armstrong, not a great quote. Unless he's on Agent Provocateur, then he was a great quote. A lot of people have not checked that out. You should. Craig Berube, a better quote than you'd expect. When Ryan O'Reilly got traded last Friday, they asked Craig Berube about it, and he said, obviously, it wasn't a fun night. That's a pretty solid quote, right? I want you to have a listen to what he said about the St. Louis Blues, his team that he coaches, after the game last night.
Our best players don't play with any passion, no emotion, and no inspiration at all. They don't play inspired hockey. You cannot play in this league without emotion, grit, and being inspired. They're getting paid lots of money, and they're not doing the job. End of story. That's it. That's what it boils down to.
Now, hold that for a second. Now, the Blues were up 2-0 going into the third period. JT Miller scored at 9:08, and Andrei Kuzmenko tied it up with 30 seconds to go, and then Pettersson scored with 15 seconds to go in OT.
Jesse, can you play that again?
Sure.
That is as good.
Quote.
Oh my God. And it's like, I read.
Like, that's better than a Torch quote.
Oh my God. Well, everything's better than a Torch quote. I read a snippet of that online. The video is 1,000 times worth. It's volcanic.
Best players don't play with any passion, no emotion, and no inspiration at all. They don't play inspired hockey. You cannot play in this league without emotion, grit, and being inspired. They're getting paid lots of money, and they're not doing the job. End of story. That's it. That's what it boils down to.
Dude. So who's he talking about?
Well, who's left?
Well, so Braden Shen makes the most out of any forward, followed by Pavel Buchnevich, but Pavel Buchnevich and Brandon Saad. But then Kyrou and Robert Thomas's extensions kick in next year.
And they're the future.
Mm-hmm. And on defense, you have Justin Falk and Torrey Krug signed to $6.5 million each until 2027. And Colton Parayko also signed to 6.5, goes beyond that. And obviously Jordan Binnington makes $6 million in
And the most important part of the team is Nathan Walker.
That's right.
Noted Alan Walsh.
That's right.
You know, the Blues haven't been the same since they lost David Perron.
It's a good point. Good point.
It's the only point.
It's the point.
You lose Alan Walsh clients, you fucking lose everything else.
But I thought it was worth saying that, considering that the St. Louis Blues are apparently still in on Timo Meier and are looking to do a quick rebuild.
Well, it makes sense.
I could see why, because there'd be people that'd be like, okay, listen, Craig, you're not going to make the playoffs. Why are you harping on them? I think that the Blues are like, listen, we're getting the most out of these players this season because we're turning this around and making the playoffs next year. This is ridiculous. We shouldn't be here. I think that's what they're doing. Quick retool, turn around, be top of the division next year. Because they know, Doug Armstrong especially knows, or is it Bill?
Doug.
It's Doug. Doug Armstrong knows that the Western Conference is for the taking next year. Mm-hmm. It's weak right now. It's getting better.
For the taking right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you can imagine that the improvement next year, while it will be probably improved, won't be that much.
Yeah.
You have a huge opportunity if you're the Blues.
I don't want to be the arrogant Easterner here, but if you're in the West and you're not in a playoff spot right now, you're a deep shit.
Or you're doing a quick retool.
Wow. What?
That has to be pointed at Kyrou and Thomas and who's their defenseman again? You met Torrey Krug and
Falk. And the man in net.
Binnington, who does play with passion,
but is it good?
Does not direct it well, and has already come under fire from the coach for legitimate reason. Like, I talk about Bunting not being able to control his temper.
Benner had a good game last night, by the way. 38 saves.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, what's the save percentage on the year?
That's a good question. Let me find out.
That's the thing, right? Well, so I'm willing to bet he's
894.
not talking.
Not great.
Wow. So remember we were talking about how Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen wasn't doing well? Did he not have exactly an 894?
Yeah,
was that it?
almost that. Or
Yeah.
897, I think.
Yeah, whatever. Like that's brutal. But he was good in that game. So who's Berube going at? So I think there's something coaches do where because these guys they're so hot under the collar when they lose, and then they got to have microphones shoved in their face right after.
Mhm.
And I think what happens is they're mad about 1,000 things, and what it often gets converted into is aggression at the media. Oh, the media is a piece of blah, 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 blah. And that's why you see like Sutter being kind of a prick and Tortorella being kind of a prick. Berube kind of dropped the veil. He didn't like throw the filter on. He was like our best guy. That is as scathing a quote as I've ever heard an NHL coach say about his own players. You know what I mean? Our highest paid players, they make a lot of money.
You're really going to get people's attention. You bring up money.
Oh, you're going to get the PA's attention. Not a guy in that room is happy about that quote. Not a single one of them. Even the biggest Berube believers are like, you know what, man? You helped us win a cup in 2019, but fuck you for that one. Oh, that quote, I fear, is going to have a ripple effect for the St. Louis Blues. Wow.
Or maybe they go on a tear.
Or, yeah, maybe it works. I mean, the last quote I remember of Berube's was he complained about the officiating in the Stanley Cup final, and then basically every call went their way for the remaining 5 games
How
of the
do we
series.
get that? How does Sheldon Keefe learn that skill? Is that a like a Pokemon skill that you can like give them a stone and then they learn it?
I'm sure somewhere between him yelling at the refs less and Wes McCauley retiring.
Okay, fair enough.